Hey guys, we're at 601 Road 601 on the Appalachian Trail, about 20 miles north of Damascus somewhere. We're about 3 miles from White Top Mountain. Some of you that know things on the Appalachian Trail, that's where we are. And we've got a hiker here. Give us your name.
Hey, I'm Micah.
M-I-C-H-A?
M-I-C-A-H.
Okay, M-I-C-A-H.
Yep.
Micah, you don't have a trail name yet?
Not yet. Nope.
Has people tried to give you one?
Yeah, I've gotten some. I haven't really kept any of them, so.
Okay, they just you hadn't answered to them, so they're not yours yet.
Yeah.
Anything that was close to maybe have been one you would have taken?
People were saying I should be road runner because I hike really fast, but it turns out there's already a road runner, so I couldn't do that. Someone was saying I should be Galaxy because I've got
Your I see
my gators.
Your gators are like the Galaxy. Yeah, I see that.
But I haven't really kept any of those.
One will come to you at the right time, I promise you. So don't take something you're not comfortable with, and make sure you're going to answer to it. That's when you know it's yours.
Yeah.
Micah, where are you from?
I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville, yeah. You told me that off camera because we're from outside of Nashville, so we're not that far apart. And I heard you say you have hiked some of the Appalachian Trail, some parts of it.
I have.
What parts?
I've growing up, I did a whole lot of hiking in the Smokies, so I've done a lot of those day hikes. And most of those kind of go from low elevation up to the ridgeline, so I've never really done the AT in one go through the park, so this has been a cool experience. And then I've done some hiking on the AT in Southwest Virginia when I was at school in Blacksburg, so some of the sections around like the Triple Crown Loop I've done, and some small sections in West Virginia just on backpacking trips.
Okay, so you've done what's it called? Maccabee Knob, that's the Triple Crown. Some of them call it the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Maccabee, Tinker Cliffs, and Dragon's Tooth.
Yep.
So you've done that.
I have.
Okay. When did, and I always like to ask this question, my viewers may get tired of me asking, but I want to know it for my personal self. When was the first time you heard about the Appalachian Trail? Were you real young or?
Yeah, I'd probably say I've probably heard about it in middle school or early high school. I did a lot of hiking really starting in high school, so I definitely knew about it then.
In high school, did you comprehend how long it was?
I may have known about it, but I don't think I actually understood how long it was.
When did you really realize it's over 2,000 miles?
Probably just a few years ago, I really understood the length of it, how far it goes. Or even if I knew the number, I didn't really comprehend how long it would take.
Till you actually started planning maybe for
Exactly, yeah.
So how much planning did you do? Some people don't do much planning. They don't really want to know what's in front of them.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I didn't really make like a real decision to do this until about late November of this past year. So I had about 3 or 4 months of planning, so that's definitely on the shorter side for a lot of people.
That's a real short side.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And what was the event that caused you to decide to do it this year?
I was in a job that was on a contract, and that was coming to an end, and I didn't really want to stick with that job, so I decided this would be a great opportunity to go on this adventure.
Will you go back into the same field of work that you were doing?
I might. I've also thought about doing something else, and I thought this would also, being in a transition period like that, this would be a great time to do something like this. So.
Now, not getting into the exact numbers or all, but how did you come up with a budget to do this, and has it been working for you, whatever you came up with?
Yeah, so I'm pretty frugal in my normal life, so this was my first job out of college, and I've pretty much been saving everything that I didn't need to spend, so I had like a comfortable budget going in. So
do you think that somebody can do it comfortably for $1,000 a month?
$1,000 a month, I guess that would be about $6,000 total. I think you could if you were pretty careful about spending in town. I think hostels and restaurants and like drinks are really where it can really add up for people. So I think you could definitely do it for $6,000.
Okay, and I've got numbers in my head, but I always try to get something out there from a hiker that at this time, you're 500 miles into this deal. So, you know, you saying it's working for you, you know, as far as how you planned it. So that's kind of where I wanted to go with that.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about it for you being out here? I mean, I think you walked up maybe and heard me ask somebody else this, but what's been the best thing about being out here this year?
Oh man, just meeting all the people. I think it's so cool. Whenever I meet somebody, I just think like, wow, this person actually decided to take the dive and do this crazy 6-month journey that like 99% of people that would think about it would never actually do. So it's so cool to meet all of those people out here, and also just being out here to begin with. Like, every day I wake up and I can't really believe that I'm actually out here doing this. It's so cool. And
Yeah, a day like this especially.
yeah, it's
Look
amazing.
how pretty it is.
Yeah, and even on the rainy days, you know, when it's getting really tough, I still just tell myself like, this is still so fun right now. Like, this is like part of a huge adventure, and I don't want to take that for granted. So,
Do you think this is the biggest adventure you've ever done in your life, or will it be by the time you finish?
definitely,
Okay.
absolutely.
And have you ever met a thru hiker personally before coming out here yourself?
I've never talked with anybody personally that's through hiked,
Okay.
but I've passed some people
While you
while
were
I
hiking.
was doing backpacking trips or
But
day
they
hikes.
were attempting a thru hike.
Yeah,
So you never really met somebody that had completed a thru hike.
no,
Okay.
yeah,
And you know, I've said this a while ago, and I say it all the time on camera. I know the viewers probably get tired of hearing this, but I like to plant a seed in the young people's heads that, you know, when you finish this trail, you're going to be the first person that many people, thousands of people in your lifetime, if you live a normal life, you will be the first person that they ever met that did the Appalachian Trail.
yeah. That is crazy to think.
And
That
that's
is
a
true, though.
cool thought.
That is very
'Cause
cool.
It's not very many people that will be able to do that in their life. You will have something on most of the people in the world that don't have. You'll have accomplish something that people will be amazed that you did, and they'll want to hear your story.
That is
about
true.
it.
That's a humbling thought, but that
Yeah,
is true.
it can be. It can be.
Yeah.
Is anything strange out here that maybe something happened that you were surprised about, or not really, or?
Let me think. It's been surprising how much it's let me phrase it this way. It's not as out in the wild as you may think, this through hike. You know, like for a lot of nights you have self-service in camp, and you're going into town every 3 or 4 days. So if you're thinking it's going to be some crazy thing where you're just gone for 6 months and you have no connection, it's not that bad. So,
I'm glad you brought that up,
Yeah.
because we have not talked about this in maybe a couple of years. I'm glad that you said that, because I want to go somewhere for a minute or two here. A lot of people come out here thinking that they're going to be in the wilderness, and they're not going to have any food. They're going to see bears, they're going to be deer and everything running. It's
Yeah.
not really like that. Like
No.
you said, you're still close to a city almost all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, I could have you at a main superstore in less than an hour.
yeah,
And even the 100-mile wilderness that you will go through, I slacked packed my wife and them through the whole 100-mile wilderness except one day.
yeah.
So there's roads and there's accesses and there's trail magic at a lot of places, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because
Yeah.
that's a good point that doesn't get mentioned very much.
Yeah,
So that did. I can see how that would have shocked you, or maybe caught you off guard.
yeah,
That, hey, golly, I'm hiking more, I'm crossing more roads than I do when I'm in work in town,
Yeah.
you know?
exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. You come out, there's like this, there's trail magic all the time. There's super nice people trying to support you the whole way. You cross roads all the time. It's really not as remote as you would expect.
Okay, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I usually like to leave it about 8 minutes. We're at 9 minutes. I am going to ask you if you want to say hello to anybody.
I'll say hello to my mom and dad, because I'm sure they'll end up watching this. I'll say hello to any friends that end up watching this. Everyone's been super supportive to me so far, so it's been great.
Hey, Mom and Dad, I did not tell him. I did not remind him to tell you that. So you got a nice son here, and I've enjoyed talking with him today. God bless every step between here at Katahdin. Hope I meet you up the trail before you make it to Katahdin.
Thank you so much.